Well, hello there. Welcome back. Bitcoin's going to go way higher because the governments can't stop. They're addicted. They're sick. They need the debt. Oh, the money they're going to print. Oh, the deficits they're going to run. It's going to be disgusting. But our hard assets are going to go up in value. So I guess we can take solace in the fact that we're Bitcoin investors. We are in the lifeboat. Other people are fucked. Anyway, welcome to the show. It's going to be a good one today. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We got some bullish propaganda for Bitcoin, some bullish propaganda for even Ethereum. Yes. Lots to talk about in today's show, answering your questions, second half of the stream. So let's get it. Sue, Daniel, Steve, Jason, Rich, Dinosaur, Muscle Cars, Vicent, Greg. How's it going? Psychedelic Astronaut. That's a good one. Bazooka, Creeker Monster, Alt Zulu, Knuckle Dragger, Nice Robot, Eat My Guns, guys. What is up? Welcome to the party. Ortho RD, Daz, TX Chainhand, Monty, Andy, OPM, Zan Creek. Everybody, guys, welcome to the party. Let's get it. So, first and foremost, this is crazy. Bitcoin for Freedom said, I hope you've bought enough Bitcoin for the big print that's coming. In response to Donald Trump's post, I'm very pleased to announce that after all these years, I agree with Senator Elizabeth Warren on something. The debt limit should be entirely scrapped to prevent an economic catastrophe. It's too devastating to put it in the hands of political people that want to use it despite the horrendous effect it would have on our country and indirectly even the world. As a Senator Warren's second statement on the $4 trillion, I like that also, but it would have to be done over a period of time. Fascinating. So essentially, the United States is talking about removing the debt limit altogether. Essentially, infinite money printing, infinite debt. I'm sure that'll end super well at some point in the future. Donald Trump's literally gone from like, let's get our debt under control and get the deficit under control to like, fuck it. Infinite debt, no limits at all. Just keep swiping that credit card, baby. Craziness. Oh, nobody owns enough Bitcoin. Not even close. Not even close. The AI the AI bubble that's forming in the stock market right now is going to be so insane. And I know people are still like, but the 4-year cycle. You know what? Maybe the 4-year cycle. But also, again, we are halfway through the standard bull market. The average age of bull market is 60 months. We're 30 months into this one, starting 2023. So that would say we got 3 years to go for an average age one. Okay. Now you think, but Bitcoin doesn't always correlate. Okay, sure. But we are increasingly correlating with the stock markets. Our fate is increasingly being tied to the stock markets, whether that be through ETF allocations or whether that be through the increasing amount of treasury companies that we see coming out. How the stock market trades will be a proxy for how crypto trades. And we may find ourselves getting surprised when in December, we don't get a bear market. Now, maybe the recession comes. Sure. Economic growth right now is strong. Okay, 4.6% GDP forecast from the Atlanta Fed for Q2. That's insanely bullish for America. Okay, jobs report. 300,000 new job listings in America. Companies are hiring. That's not recession behavior. Big things are happening, okay? And yes, Steve-O, I agree. That would invalidate the halving theory. That would invalidate a whole lot of theories, a whole lot of things that we think we know. But here's the deal. You know what the most dangerous words in crypto and investing are? This time is different. Yes, this is incredibly dangerous to think that this time is different. The flip side is maybe this time is not different. It's just that this time is the same. It's just we haven't had a chance to experience it yet. The asset class is maturing. Look at what happened to gold post ETFs. The asset class matured. Look what happened to a lot of things post ETFs. The asset class matured. They grew more stable. They got more liquidity, all that kind of stuff. Big things are happening, guys. Infinite money is coming. Marty Party saying implications of the U.S. government not defaulting on the debt. We will see inflationary deleveraging. This means the U.S. government, together with the banks and the Federal Reserve, will print money to pay its bills, the money it owes in its future expenses. This means prices will go up, assets go up, interest rates for everyone except the government will go up. And if we do a debt default, if we do get a debt default, a lot of money will go into gold and Bitcoin, and financial institutions will require a rescue bailout. Everything is bullish for Bitcoin. Except the price of Bitcoin today. Actually, no, screw that, man. The price of Bitcoin's bullish as fuck right now. Look, Lark, come on. You're not a dirty sailor. Let's clean it up a little bit, man. I said dropped the F-bomb like 20 times already in the stream. I'm excited, guys. What are you going to do? Anyway, so we can see here. This is the 9th of May. The price of Bitcoin right here, as you can see, has been above. Oh, this weirds me out. I know the bottom one's flat. The bottom one is perfectly flat, but it looks like it's crooked because the top one's crooked. Anyway, price of Bitcoin has been above $100,000 since the 8th of May. 3 more days, that makes a whole month. Yes, borrow against our children's future. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it's good. I think it's totally effed up, but this is the thing. This is what's happening. And we have to save ourselves. No one is coming to save you. Your government's not going to save you. They're all freaking broke, man. Your pension, good luck. Good luck. You have to save yourself. Okay, there's no other way about it. Anyway, Bitcoin still maintaining above 100K. Fine. Nothing too exciting there. Now, we do have this. We actually shared this in Discord yesterday, but Titan Crypto posted a nice looking chart over here. So I'm going to share his Bitcoin critical structure in play. A potential head and shoulders is forming on Bitcoin right now, and Bitcoin's sitting right on the neckline. Breakdown here would activate a target near $96,000. Here's catch. RSI is holding around 50, a zone that often triggers reactions. Will price pump from here, or are we going to get a move back down to the 90K zone? Either way, doesn't matter. Move back down to 90K is fine for Bitcoin. Your altcoins probably get kicked in the balls in a massive way. Bitcoin will be fine, though, obviously. But hey, even if this head and shoulders does play out, it's a baby mini target. It only takes us back to the previous level, so not a big deal. CryptoCon, a new Bitcoin super signal has appeared, which happens when volume reaches extremely low levels inside of a bull market. This is the lowest volume reading since 2014. It's almost hard to believe. It's crazy, isn't it? The other super signal this cycle gave us a 200% return from October 2023 to March 2024. Before that, only 2 other super signals were recorded in October 2016 and December 2012, which spawned entire bull markets. Again, as hard as it may be to accept, because we've been through so much shit in the last few years, as hard as it may be to even want to accept, the bull market probably hasn't even really in earnest started yet. And we've shared a whole variety of evidence for why that may be the case. Altcoins have definitely been in a bear market for a long time, right? Way higher, potentially even for longer, which is crazy. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard. Decode jar with this one. All the stock liquidity, the growth is still slow. Imagine what happens to Bitcoin and crypto when real growth breakout comes. So this is the global liquidity index here. Hasn't even broken out yet. Look what happened last time it broke out. This is in 2020. What's funny for me, I don't know, it's funny, ha or whatever, but is that you look at the market where it is right now. I feel like we are more like in sometime in 2020. People think we're in like December 2021, something like that. I think we're more in like January 2020, to be honest. Maybe I'll be horrifically wrong. You guys can all come back and, share your thoughts on that later on. But a lot of the charts are showing that we're in a much more similar situation with there versus the end of a cycle. Again, we're not at the top of the business cycle. Bitcoin tops when the business cycle tops. Bitcoin tops when the credit cycle tops. Bitcoin tops when the liquidity cycle tops. None of those things are topping right now. Therefore, crypto market cycle probably has a lot of room to run. Guys, it's time to give away some money. Look, if you are trading cryptocurrency coins, I know you're trading cryptocurrency coins. You want a great place to do that. You want somewhere where you can long the rips. You want somewhere where you can short the dips, where you can enjoy your privacy with no KYC. No inconveniences of how to use VPN. Just click, sign up, trade, have a good time. It's that easy. Check it out, BitUnix. Link down below. You can deposit $2,000. You get a $400 deposit bonus back, $1,000, $200 deposit bonus back, up to $2,000 in trading bonuses, and we're giving away $1,000 a day every live stream. So it's a live stream, so it's time to give away $1,000. 2 lucky winners getting $500 today. Okay. We now have a total of 96 people on this week's list. We're going to refresh the list next week. Okay. 96 people on this list. Let's go ahead and oh boy. Keep finding interesting new ways to put bears in bikinis. Put wigs on them today. Looking pretty good in the wigs, actually. That blonde bear, huh? Anyway, Let's have Grok choose two numbers between 1 and 96, including 53, 27, 19, and 42, which are the last winning numbers. Think about it, Grok. Do it. Grok it. Great. We've got 81 and 34. 81 and 34. 81 and 34. Here we go. 34 here. $500. Congratulations. That'll be credited to your account. And you have to click on the My Rewards tab, okay? 34. And what was the other one? 81. 81. Here we go. 81. Not bad, man. Put in 85 bucks. Get 500 bucks credited to your account. Dig it. 53 as well. Look at that. Put in 58 bucks. Get 500 bucks in your account. Winning. Obviously, you can see your user IDs here. So double check your user ID to see if you are the winner today. Obviously, we're not using names and email addresses because we want to preserve everybody's privacy. So this is just your user ID, your unique user ID, which is not linked to any stuff that anyone in the public's going to find out about, okay? Congratulations to the winners. Let's move on. Okay, so guys, the Bitcoin buying, it keeps happening. This is insane. Look at this. Korea's K-Wave Media stock pumps 150% on its $500 million Bitcoin treasury plan. Just another company just buying $500 million worth of Bitcoin. Just. It just keeps happening. Not a day goes by that we don't get an announcement about a new company buying $500 million or $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. The Bitcoin treasury companies at this rate are on pace to outpace the Bitcoin ETF flows. Now, I know we still have a long way to go to catch up with them, but in terms of money flowing in per week versus from treasury companies versus ETFs, we're trending in a pretty strong direction here with all these companies that keep announcing. It's very crazy stuff. UK gold miner Bluebird Mining Ventures to adopt a Bitcoin treasury strategy and convert future revenues from its gold mining projects in South Korea and the Philippines, which is estimated 1.8 million ounces of gold into Bitcoin. That's a lot of gold, $6 billion worth of gold. Now, look, obviously, they have to pay to mine that gold. They have to, buy diesel and trucks and ship it and refine it and pay people to be there. Okay, sure. But let's say it's even a few $100 million. Well, guess what? We just got another company that's buying a few $100 million worth of Bitcoin again. Fajao saying, this is great to see. It's not fast mercenary money squeezing out basis trades. Real durable money is coming to Bitcoin. It's from Arab Kunis, giving a breakdown of Bitcoin holders of the spot Bitcoin ETFs according to the 13F filings. Advisor has now surged to #1. Look at that. 124,000 Bitcoin in the hands of investment advisors. Great. Very cool stuff. Hedge funds, 83,000 Bitcoin. Brokerages, 25,000. Holding companies, only 7,000. Governments, 5,000. That would probably be Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund, I'd imagine here. I feel like they have more Bitcoin than that. Banks, 3,000. Private equity, 3,000. You can see trusts and endowments and stuff like that. Not that much. Family offices, only 260 reported. Venture capital, just come on, venture capital. You got to buy some more Bitcoin than that, man. I just missed that, Lark. Did you say there's a list of people that are in the running to win $1,000? Yep, that's happening every day. All you have to do is sign up to BitUnix using the link down below, deposit some money, and you'll be in the runnings to be in our daily draw every live stream Monday to Friday. We're giving away $1,000 for the month of June. Okay. So this is very interesting. Interesting seeing who's buying the Bitcoin right now. JP Morgan to accept Bitcoin ETFs and other ETFs as collateral for loans. That's a big deal because back under Gary Gensler, Gary from Goldman, this guy said, no, banks are not allowed to use ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs as collateral against loans. Now they can, which opens a whole nother vector for Bitcoin ETF products. So it's good. Mickey Bull, Golden Cross for 2025 has occurred on the total market cap. Previously occurred 2023 here, 2024 here. Things ran way higher. Now, you could be a contrarian and say, well, this time's going to be different. We're not going to run higher this time. Oh, it's going to run way higher. Way higher. ICO Beast, not gonna lie, bros, feels good to finally have started catching an institutional bid on ETH at the same time that the Ethereum Foundation figured out that all they had to do was stop full stack Hitlering every 2 weeks. The stars are aligning. The rally you didn't believe was ever coming back is coming back. ETH, man. Bags, my entire bloodline watching me bull post ETH again. Maybe he was adopted. I survived smallpox so we could buy ETH again. Has he never heard of Bitcoin? Oh, my goodness. Mando says the dev is buying back Vitalik Buterin and even bought 300 ETH today. What is going on? Things are getting so bullish that literally, Vitalik is out here buying ETH. Philip says, yes, Bitcoin is going to do well. The institutions aren't rotating at altcoins. Alts are finished. Lark's just farming for attention at this point. The hopium generates views. Philip, I strongly disagree. First and foremost, I have a channel on YouTube. Our business is literally making videos, okay? So that's a first and foremost thing. I hope that in the process of us making content, we educate. That's one of our primary goals. We're breaking down all kinds of theories and news and stuff like this to keep you informed and educated on what's happening in the market so you can make the best decisions. That's the first point. We're not just farming for attention here, okay? I mean, obviously social media is an attention game, sure, but I hope that we're delivering a lot of value in the process. So that's the first point. The second point, institutions aren't rotating at altcoins, is categorically false. And we've covered the stories here in the last week that literally disprove the point that you're trying to make. Okay, now, is the level of institutional interest for altcoins the same as Bitcoin? No, obviously not. But to sit here and say that institutions are not going to buy altcoins is already on its face incorrect, okay? Because, well, one, we've had strong inflows into Ethereum ETFs for the last 2 weeks. Someone's buying that, okay? It's not just Joe Blow. Look at what we just talked about for Bitcoin. Probably a similar group of investment advisors and brokerages and stuff like this are the ones that are buying Ethereum ETFs. Okay, now we don't have Solana ETFs yet. We don't have XRP ETFs yet. We don't have Litecoin or Dogecoin or a dozen other altcoins. And we're probably going to start getting all of those over the next few months. Now, you might argue, well, but nobody's going to buy a Solana. No institution in the right mind is going to buy a Solana ETF. I think that's a completely wrong take. Institutions are going to buy Solana. Institutions are going to buy XRP. Now, obviously, they're not going to buy every random shit coin in the market. Sure, obviously not the case. We're talking about just the top coins here. But liquidity from the top coins will have a spillover effect into other coins as people take profits and gamble on down the way, trying to double their money. So that's one thing. The second thing is that we've seen corporate players running treasury plays for altcoins. We've announced probably 6, 7, 8 stories in the last week alone. We have Solana treasury companies launching. We have Ethereum treasury companies launching, and we have XRP treasury companies launching. And those first 7 or 8 companies are not going to be the last. I think that's a losing bet to say, oh, well, okay, those 7, 8 companies, they're going to be outliers and no one else is ever going to run an Ethereum treasury strategy. No, they're going to. Other companies are going to follow suit. Same for Solana and same for XRP. And you might even get some other random shit in there. But those top coins, which those 4 coins, Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, and Ethereum account for like 60, 70% of the volume in crypto, something like that. The most searched coins, the most owned coins, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These coins are going to get a lot of liquidity, and those are altcoins. So yes, institutions are buying altcoins. We already have evidence of it. Go look at the Ethereum ETF inflows. We'll have more of that happening as more treasury strategy companies launch, and we have more ETFs hit the market, respectfully. Okay, continuing. Continuing. Let me know if you disagree or not. Right. Over 340,000 Ethereum worth nearly $900 million are now queued for Ethereum staking, the highest level in over a year, amid rising demand post-SEC guidance. That's incredible, man. That's beautiful. Look at that. ETH is back, baby. So I take my ball kicking boots off and stop kicking ETH in the balls all the time. Now, it's very interesting because that's a lot of ETH flowing into the staking contract. And you have to remember that the staking contract only allows you to take out a certain amount of ETH every single day from the staking contract. And about a third of all ETH now is locked up in the staking contract. And it's got about a 2-year exit queue if you want everyone to get out at the same time. So that's bullish supply lockup. Okay. Very cool stuff. Great. We're seeing a lot of renewed interest in Ethereum. Okay. That full just puke that it had a few weeks ago. Yeah, it was needed. It was needed, man. It was needed to improve morale. Now, price of Ethereum today rejected once again at the 200-day simple moving average yesterday. These moving averages are still closing in on each other. We covered this more in depth in the video earlier, trading video earlier. It's not going to go too much into depth on this, but still stuck between the rock and the hard place. The resolution of this range, either to the upside or the downside, probably results in a relatively dramatic move. So obviously we are betting on the upside. A lot of coins looking pretty weak today. A lot of charts not looking fantastic. How long the downturn lasts for is anybody's guess. Definitely a rough start to June so far for a lot of coins. You can look at Pepe as a great example. Good proxy bid for Ethereum. But look at this. We broke out of the range, came back down, at least bounced off the 200-day EMA, but got rejected at the 20. So this is what you call the kiss of death, where you have a breakdown beyond the moving average and a retest, bearish retest on the underside. I don't like that. Not fantastic. Okay, doesn't mean I'm rushing out of my Pepe bag, but not great. Not great. We want to see that 200-day around 0.000011 hold. Okay, let's see. Now, MACD is telling an interesting story because MACD histograms still trending in the right direction. Now, very minorly so. It's a very small move right now. We're about to cross under the 0 line here. So maybe in the next 3 to 7 days, maybe it takes a little longer for Pepe to get its next wind, but we'll see that bullish MACD crossover probably under the 0 line when it finally happens, or right around the 0 line, which is a pretty good indicator from my point of view. Some coins, though, are just in their own little world here. Look at Aave. Look at Aave, man. Beautiful chart. Beautiful chart here. Bouncing off the 20-day EMA. Very strong. You know, not a lot of people are talking about DeFi coins right now, but they're doing well. They're doing well. It's up 100% off of its local bottom here back in April. Keeps bouncing off the 20-day EMA. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bounces so far in the 20-day EMA. The question is, will it hold up now that we have put in a potential lower high? So if that's a lower high, then we look for a lower low, probably down by the 50-day EMA here. Let's see how it plays out. Miles saying the AI agent boom hasn't even begun. January was a test pump. Look at this. Search terms for these. Still going to go way higher, way higher. Yep, I agree. I agree. Seen huge interest in them, but not a lot of price action so far on the agents necessarily themselves. I mean, some of them are doing pretty well. Most of them are still really small cap. Virtuals going through a bit of a corrective period like the rest of the market currently. I'm actually considering swapping out some. Again, I've been trying to consolidate my portfolios. Take like 3 or 4 of the altcoins that I have, some of the smaller positions, and then just smash all that into virtuals. I think it's definitely the leading AI agent ecosystem right now. Obviously, there's plenty of other people doing AI agent stuff, and there's some pretty cool things going on, but I feel like the flywheel that virtuals has created is pretty interesting so far. Let's see if that continues. Obviously, price right now trying to hold up at a pretty key level here, so let's see how that plays out. We had some great volume in the move up, but volume has been, of course, lacking as the price has been basically moving sideways here. Now, I bounced from this current level, the 50-day EMA, which also lines up with previous support back here. Would be a logical place to see a bounce if you're going to see a bounce, but the MACD is definitely showing that the trend is down right now, so we could see even lower prices coming in for virtuals. So obviously, a lot of that's going to depend on if Bitcoin and Ethereum can have a meaningful bounce at some point this week. There you go. Okay. It's red hat time, guys. Let's do it. Perfect. Hello from Ed again. Hello. Do you dollar cost average profits in the Bitcoin all the time or wait till the bear market? It depends. Sometimes I just have some spare change sitting around. I'll throw it into Bitcoin. Depends. It depends for sure. I have been buying a little bit of Bitcoin with, spare income recently, but not a lot. I think in terms of big purchases, I'll wait till market conditions change, right? But overall, yeah, I do get little bits, but most of my Bitcoin bags are already packed. And I haven't put a lot of money into Bitcoin recently. I bought a decent amount of Bitcoin, around $83,000. But yeah, I'm not buying like huge amounts. Might put like, a couple $100 in here, a couple $100 in there if I have some spare change sitting around. But generally, I think the upside will be for altcoins. I know we've been thinking that for a long time. Bitcoin is going to go to 200K. Altcoins are going to drop another 50%. You watch. No, but I really think that we will see a big outperformance season for altcoins. Not all altcoins, obviously. Look where the narratives are. Look where the hype is, right? That's going to tell you what's probably going to move the most. But yeah, long term, still stacking Bitcoin. Not as aggressively as I used to. Little bits here and there. And if, of course, we get some nice profits off this bull run eventually, at some point, yeah, we'll put some of that money back into Bitcoin too. Don't forget to honky tonk. Let's go. Plume was 14 cents yesterday. What's it looking like today? I don't know. Let's have a look. It's just been beaten up, hasn't it? Oh, we're down bad, guys. We're down bad. Should have known it. Should have known that uptrend's finished anyway. Plume not looking fantastic. 12 cents right now. My average purchase price is like probably 16, 17 cents. Great. Fantastic. Shit. Anyway, I still think Plume's going to be a good runner. Mainnet's coming out soon. Lots of big RWA stuff, big backers, all that sort of stuff. This sell-off candle here was like literally the co-founder dying. And everyone's like, oh, well, shit. That dude died, so we should sell our bags. RIP, Eugene. RIP, man. I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted people to sell off your coin. It's not like he was the only person on the team or something like that. He was just one of many people. CEO and all those people are still there. Just in time for the red hat. What is up? Nice to see you. If it hurts your feelings, you own alts. Would you rather use multiple exchanges or just one or two? I find I end up using a few of them, to be honest. Use Binance, Bybit, Femex, BitUnix, primarily those four. For different things, I don't know. I find I use them all a little bit. But I think I've been doing a lot of my futures trading on BitUnix recently. By the way, Ned Kelly, on Plume, I still think fundamentally it should be a decent runner, but let's see. Did you hear about Mamo? I did. I'm keeping an eye on it. Might grab a little bit on if there's a decent pullback. I laugh at no one's bags, sir. I laugh at no one's bags. All bags are equally valid. Everyone's at a different place in their investing journey. Okay? I want everybody to win. I want everybody to have bigger bags, make more money, do better, get more financial freedom, take care of their families, build that security that everybody's looking for. Okay? I laugh at no one's bags. I want everybody to make money. Okay, continuing. My husband thinks Bitcoin will be the world's biggest Ponzi scheme. Well, I'm here stacking as much as I can. Oh, we got to orange pill this guy. Tomorrow, we got to orange pill this guy. What is going on? That's crazy. That's crazy. I feel like he needs to learn a lot more about Bitcoin. You got to get him on to some Andreas. I think Andreas Antonopoulos hasn't done a lot of stuff recently. Okay, get him to listen to, find a good Michael Saylor podcast, have him sit down and listen to the whole thing. No, really. Really, that's a good place to probably start the orange pilling process. A few good podcasts, and just say, you know what, dude, you gotta sit down and listen to this, okay? This is something I'm into. Do me the favor, sit down, let's listen to it. It's funny to even think about it as a Ponzi scheme. Doesn't even make sense because is gold a Ponzi scheme? No, gold's not a Ponzi scheme. It's an asset, okay, and it rises and falls depending on how many people are buying and selling the asset. There's nothing Ponzi scheme like at all, and even the vaguest sense about Bitcoin. Okay, so if he's on the it's a Ponzi scheme part of his journey, like he literally knows almost nothing about Bitcoin and really needs to learn some more. And look, there's plenty of smart people out there, and you should tell him. You should say, look, man, look, just let's sit down with an open mind. There's plenty of smart people out there who used to be anti-Bitcoin, who are now some of Bitcoin's biggest advocates. People like Larry Fink. Just say, lovely husband of mine, Larry Fink, the CEO of the most powerful financial institution on the face of the planet, is an unrelenting Bitcoin bull. Do you think you're smarter than Larry Fink? Do you think you have more inside information on this asset class than Larry Fink? If not, let's sit down and listen to Larry Fink and Michael Saylor and a couple other, very interesting, intelligent, well-spoken people talk about this asset class. Because I'll tell you one thing, Bitcoin's the farthest thing you're going to get from a Ponzi scheme. Lark, insight on cold wallets for alts and also Bitcoin. I think, look, there's a lot of great wallets out there. BitKey's very interesting one, especially the recovery features. But for me, I've always been big fan of my Ledger personally, but there's a lot of great ones out there. So whether you have a Tangent wallet or a Ledger or a Trezor or a BitKey, whatever, the key thing is you should have a cold wallet. You should have a hardware wallet. They're not that expensive. You can get really good ones for reasonable prices. Lark, do you think now would be a good time to open up a long on Fartcoin? Fascinating question. Let's have a look. Fartcoin to the moon. Not necessarily. It's kind of in free fall. Gosh, some of these altcoins, it's things can change so quickly, huh? 30 to 80 by 50 cent breakdown target. Probably getting closer. Probably getting close to somewhere it's interesting to bid. Now, let me just say this. This, I don't like moving it down like that. That's really the resistance zone. So it's kind of broken under this previous resistance here, which we would have hoped to have seen it be as support. Yesterday it was kind of holding as support, but you have to contend with this right here that we had, again, a kiss of death here on this, where we had the rally sort of falter out. Volumes died off here, right? Obviously, the price kept pushing higher. The volumes died off. MACD starts trending down. At least it's under the zero line now, so it means we're probably going to get a turnover sooner than later. Might be in a few weeks, but it will come, and that'll be a powerful signal to watch out for. But right now, it's overall looking relatively bearish. MACD's in a strong downtrend. RSI's nearing oversold, okay? Which could be an opportunity if that happens. We had a breakdown under the 20 and 50-day EMAs, along with basically within 2 days, a failed underside retest of both of these, with the price then pushing lower after that. So not fantastic price action there by any means. Now, can we see the price hold up here? Look, there's not actually any meaningful sort of support here. Now, you might argue this whole area is support or this whole area is support. Well, fine. In that case, then we're in a zone of support right now and bidding at sort of 89, 90 cents, something like that might be interesting. Okay. However, I would like to wait for this to show a little bit of strength first. At the very least, let it retake this previous resistance area here and have a little bit of breakout beyond that. You can see a support here and here as well. So at least that's a meaningful area, because just bidding into the blue here, there's no sort of support or resistance zones anywhere around. There's no meaningful moving averages anywhere around. And both the EMAs are trending down now. Now, that downtrend can be very short-lived and things can pop back off, sure. But there may be some more price uncertainty to absorb before that happens. So I wouldn't bid Fartcoin in this specific area. I'd want to wait for some kind of strength to start showing here. Give me a bullish MACD crossover. Give me a retake of the EMAs. Give me, gosh darn, a retake of at least this support or resistance zone that we hoped would hold support, but it didn't. So something. Give me something here. So right now, you're just bidding into the blue. Okay. That's my thought on it. Yeah, I've been thinking about that, Ronnie. I've been thinking about cutting those S bags. Sonic. You know, I feel like on a technical level, the Sonic blockchain is pretty interesting. The flip side is I also have 5 blockchains, and gosh, do I really need 5? Got to get by with 4 or even 3, probably. I feel like Sonic and Avalanche. Avalanche is the tough ones. I feel like so much good has happened in Avalanche, but people just don't give a crap. It's problematic. You need people to give a crap. Anyway, Sonic, I'm currently at about a 20% loss on it, so that's not fantastic. But I guess I could at least justify if I did cut it, put it into other stuff that's down as well, and then, yeah. Trend lines work better than support and resistance. Yeah, it all depends. Sometimes support resistance works great. Sometimes trend lines work great. I think it's all worthwhile and keeping an eye on. Yeah, Sonic, man, I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely on my list of ones that I would consider cutting. QR Lark, you were asked about White Rock by somebody. I was yesterday. It's held by World Liberty Finance, who's had it in their wallet since January. It's something to do with oil tokenization. Oh, right. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Now I know about it. No real opinion on it, but that's interesting. Interesting to know what they're doing. You know, the World Liberty, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys remember this announcement. Came in a while ago from World Liberty Finance. They basically said, if you buy our tokens, we will buy your tokens. A lot of companies took them up on that offer. So when World Liberty 5 bought something, they were like, oh, super bullish. My coin to the moon because Trump's company's buying it. Not necessarily. Lark won't touch my comments with a 10-foot pole. Let's go back and see if I can find one of your comments. I'm intrigued now. Scarcity is not equal value. I can draw you a one-on-one picture on a napkin for you, still worthless. Don't know what that's in relation to. Let's see if we can find a more interesting one. Gold is an asset with intrinsic value. Bitcoin is a speculative greater fool game. Sailors playing a role. Ah, there we go. No, I completely disagree. Look, gold is an asset with an intrinsic value, but it doesn't trade it as intrinsic value. Gold's intrinsic value would be much, much lower than it actually is if we're talking about just a bare use case in manufacturing of mobile phones and stuff like that. Gold trades as a speculative asset as well as a hedge asset and all the rest of the BS, right? Gold, though, has run into a problem because the guys over at the Big Hadron Collider in CERN, they have now run the first successful test of turning lead atoms into gold atoms. Now, obviously, that's only a few atoms, and it's going to be a while before they get that to industrial scale, but it will get to industrial scale, and in 10 to 20 years, gold as an asset class, much like diamonds as an asset class, is going to fall through the damn floor. Hear me now, quote me later. What happens when they start synthesizing gold, guys? But I'm going to buy the real gold. You won't know the difference. I'm going to buy real diamonds. Nobody knows the difference anymore. The only way you can tell a synthetic diamond from a real diamond is literally sending it off for like a lab test. Okay? That's it. Now, Bitcoin's a speculative greater fool game. You might say everything's a speculative greater fool game then. The tricky part is trying to understand that Bitcoin is gold 2.0. Bitcoin is gold for the internet era. Okay, except that in most ways it's better than gold. It's got a finite supply, right? Fixed amount of coins versus an infinite amount of gold in the universe. There's only ever been 21 million Bitcoin, but there's an infinite amount of gold. And once we start synthesizing it, there's an infinite amount of gold on this planet. And no, it's not a greater fool game. It is an asset that has actual utility to it. Now, you may say there's no intrinsic value to be able to have censorship resistant permissionless money, but I would disagree significantly. And a lot of people around the world would disagree with that take too. You have the luxury to live somewhere where you don't care about censorship resistant permissionless money. You look at just a speculative asset. And it's much more than that. It's a speculative asset. It's a revolutionary piece of technology wrapped up as a speculative asset. Let's put it that way. Anyway, Bitcoin is the real deal. Something otherwise. Bitcoin indeed is the real deal. My drawing of Ronson, that's a silly statement. My drawing of a napkin has a more finite supply. It's true. The problem is you don't have a network effect for your drawing of a napkin, do you? And unfortunately, your napkin is incredibly easy to replicate, right? If you think that there's no intrinsic value to Bitcoin, then go mine a Bitcoin. Go mine a Bitcoin, come back and tell me that your napkin is the same. What do you think about SPX 6900? Where is it at? You know, I have not looked at the chart. Let's look at the chart. As a meme, honestly, it really does nothing for me. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there. But apparently a bunch of people like it. And wow, it's actually doing really good. Congratulations to SPX 6900 holders. Not only are you almost back to, I'm not sure if that's the all-time high or not, probably somewhere around there. Not only are you guys also almost back to an all-time high there, it's actually looking pretty good. It's one of the few coins that's got like an up-only chart. MACD is actually trending up in the right direction. 20-day EMA is being respected. I mean, fair play. I know you still had a 50% pump to get back to highs, man, but hey, you're a hell of a lot closer than most coins, put it that way. Okay, off to 41 minutes. We're gonna have to cut it up here pretty soon, guys. Larky skipped over the far more interesting comments. Well, Ronson, I can't get to all your comments, buddy, but thank you for sharing your thoughts. I appreciate it. I'm sure there's 30 other things you posted there that would also be interesting to have a conversation on, but there's a whole bunch of other people on here whose questions I also want to answer, but I appreciate your sharing your point of view. I totally disagree with you, but thanks for sharing your point of view anyway. What I like about Larks, he makes us see all the possibilities. That's what I need. A lot of possibilities out there. My 76-year-old Persian father has switched teams. Yes. Larky being paid to not talk about Northeastern Ohio, Western. Shout out to Northeastern Ohio, Western Pennsylvania. Great places. Great places, man. Lark, when you put in a stop loss, do you go off a certain percentage? No. Usually when I put in a stop loss, it goes off some kind of invalidation point. If it's just sort of a random percentage, it's usually not a good stop loss. So in terms of a stop loss, let's say you're trading a retest of the 20-day exponential moving average. Let me just put it on the screen here for you to give you a more concrete example. So the SPX chart open here. So let's say, okay, you're watching the chart, you see it go up, you're like, I'm not going to buy there. I'm going to wait for something, like a breakout. Okay. So maybe you're trying to play the breakout here. Breakout didn't come, so you never entered the trade. And so, okay, price starting to pull back. So I'm going to enter at the 20-day EMA. Okay. So you put your limit buy order in here at 65 cents, let's say. Now, what would invalidate this 20-day EMA retest? Losing the 20-day EMA. So in this situation, 65 cents, you'd probably want to put a stop loss in at like 62 cents, something like that. Because essentially, if it goes down that far, and you might get caught on a wick, that happens sometimes, but that 62-cent area would be, well, if it goes down that far, then you've probably hit an invalidation point for that 20-day EMA retest, and it's going to go lower than that. So you want to get out and reassess and look for the new trade. What are your thoughts on the Circle IPO? Last question for the day. Circle IPO, probably slightly overvalued, considering a lot of their a lot of stuff going on. They're giving away a huge percentage of their income to Binance and to Coinbase and stuff like that, but it's obviously also very highly hyped. I would have got into the IPO had my broker been able to get me into it, but they can't, so c'est la vie. I'm not going to rush to buy it on the open exchange. I think the Circle is going to be a great bear market buy. I'm going to put that out there because the stablecoin business is not going away. Circle is going to remain a hot player in that. So I would look to buy Circle in the bear market, or if there's some giant dump on it post IPO and like the weeks following the IPO, then that's probably an opportunity there too. I think the IPO price is like $31 or something like that. So I would watch to get it if there's a giant dump below that point. Anyway, you guys are awesome. I appreciate your time. It's always great talking to you, and I'll see you back tomorrow for the Friday live stream. We're giving away more money, so make sure to come. Peace.